Hello, Nicola. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm just so excited to have you here. Bless you.
I am too. It's a pleasure and an honor. As they
Oh,
say in France, enchanté.
yes, that's a beautiful expression, a beautiful word.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Carried into the song, into the enchanting. It's beautiful. Yes, I love the roots of that word. So I will just present Nicola for those of you who do not know her yet. She's Dr. Nicola Amadora, and she leads a revolutionary way of love with her real and embodied approach to spirituality. Very real, very embodied, I underline. With an illustrious career spanning over 30 years, she's helped tens of thousands of people worldwide as a seasoned spiritual teacher, holistic psychologist, and Hakomi trauma therapist, women leader, author, and speaker. I have to tell you, everybody, that is the very abbreviated version of Nicola's extremely full biography. I am amazed in every conversation that I have with Nicola. I discover something new, a whole enormous phase of her life that was just, oh, and by the way, I just find it's such a rich life and such rich offerings that you share through your experience. And I'm so delighted to have this opportunity to share your experience with our people in the Guardians of the Gaia community. And so for them, I would also like to say how it is that I have come to know you, Nicola, because I feel like that's a story in itself. Um, First of all, maybe I'll just summarize. It's hard also to define you in terms of a guardian, but we've got it down to something that captures at least some of your facets. If we say that Nicola is a guardian of the living truth, of ancient heart wisdom, and a flame carrier of the Mary Magdalene lineage. And basically, this is how I came to know you, Nicola. I had the good fortune of being in Puivert Castle at a concert, a very beautiful troubadour Celtic music concert. And at the end of the concert, Nicola came up to the person sitting next to me and started talking. And I just heard the word retreat. And something in me just woke up and wanted to know more about this, even though I was extremely busy at that time. I didn't feel like I needed any more retreats or courses or anything. I was full on with projects. And but something sparked in me, and I said, "What's this retreat? What's happening? When is it? Where is it?"
Such a magical moment it was.
It was. It
Mm.
really was because I definitely felt called as soon as I heard what the retreat was about. It was called The Way of Love. Um, I have chills just thinking of that moment because it really was I felt the call to go, and my calendar just happened to be, I only had, 1 week free in my calendar for the next few months, and it was that week where the retreat was, and I was
Amazing.
able to go.
It was meant to be.
And you had one space left that had just freed up that same day. It was one of those things where you just feel like, yes, there's something much larger at work here. So I was very grateful to have that introduction to what you share of the Magdalena lineage through the Way of Love retreat, which was for men and women, and included some sacred masculine input from people that you chose to come and be with you at certain times. That was really magical for me. And following that retreat, I was drawn through hearing more through some of the other participants. I heard that there was also a Magdalena retreat for women in Saint-Baume. And it happened to be just a couple of months later in September, after the summer. So I was able to go to that also. It was a magical experience, really very strong, very deep experience. And I'm not somebody who is going looking for, masters, teachers, or new things to learn because I feel like I've had a very rich life too. But I really felt drawn to this particular current that you carry, Nicola, of the Magdalena lineage, because I've read, a lot of things out there about her recently. There's an awful lot out there. I had looked at some courses, pilgrimages, and things that were on offer. Nothing drew me particularly, but there is something you carry which I find very potent and very real that really resonates for me personally. And so I'm very grateful to have encountered her through you in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And I will go on to say just some of the other things that have, been sparkling in my life since I've met you, Nicola. I was able to read your book that you have behind you there that we can see, Love Unleashed, which is an extraordinary book, which contains a lot of the your life experience, and particularly, how you um, make love accessible, and on the streets and for all people everywhere at every moment. And seeing the horses on the cover there makes me think of just how, you are a horse lover, and I'm sure you were a horse in one life. I think a mountain goat in another, because I've had the chance of following you up a few mountains in the retreats we've done, and um, yes. So these are just some. I could go on and on. You wrote a section in the book, a recent book at Magdalene Unveiled, which is a anthology of many authors specializing in Magdalena. I've also had the chance to work with you on a very particular topic that I needed to clear, that I had from my early life, that I had cleared energetically in many ways, but it was still in my cells and there were traces, and I could feel that it was an obstacle for what I'm doing now, for my sharing of the Guardians of Gaia. And you gave me support in that in a very particular, very precise, very potent, very rapid, way, and very surprising, with some trauma therapy, basically, that I found really, really special. So I would like to shut up so that we can actually hear something from you, Nicola, but that's something of how I know you and some facets of your very rich life. And welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Sana. This was such a beautiful sharing from you that I'm sure speaks much louder than any written bio. It's personal. And you have such a huge heart and enthusiasm, but you also can sense when something is real. And I appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Yes, maybe I can underline that. It's quite personal in a way, but I feel like it's something important for me, is that I had experience with teachers, guides, well, one particular one, let's say, who who said beautiful things, but the energy wasn't clear. And for me, there was something so healthy about meeting you, Nicola, because I received teaching from you. You are a teacher, you are a guide, but I do not feel that I'm being in any way influenced, manipulated, other things that I experienced at other times.
Yeah. Well, that's important to me
Mm.
to really walk in integrity, because the more power, status somebody has, it's easy then to abuse power. And for me, that's just a no-no.
Mm. Yeah.
So it's just, no, that's just not okay.
Mm.
But it requires a certain level of awareness and working on oneself to actually see where's the shadow, you know.
Mm. Mm.
But anyway, I think you have some pertinent questions for the interview.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
as we said, we could go for hours, and I certainly can tell a lot of stories for many hours and bring teachings, but really, I want to be real, yeah, focused is so in service to
Mm.
the guardians of Gaia, you know?
Yes. Well, let's go with my first question, which is, what do you love and protect, Nicola?
All right. Well, this is a long answer, and I'm going to pack it into a short. I think for me, it's loving everything that is alive. Yeah, it's the sacredness in all of life.
Mm.
It's the divine in form as the animals, as the plants, as the waters, as our relations. It's the sacredness that underlies everything. And for me, to be in sacred relationship with all of life is an outpouring of love
Mm. Mm.
that I feel at this time in our human evolution we urgently need.
Mm. Absolutely.
And I love the feminine life power because I feel this has been so suppressed for so long, but it's the holy. It is what's holy. It's and it's shining through your eyes. It's breathing through you who are listening right now.
Mm.
That recognition that from the angels to the the beggar on the street, to the richest, to those who are lost and those who are found. It's that one heart that's beating through all of life, through all creation, that where you can see the inherent worth of all beings and live in kinship.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I greatly value the heart. And I don't mean the Hollywood heart, and I don't mean the fluffy bunny sweet. You know, it's sweet sometimes,
Mm.
but the core of the heart unites everything. There's no one and nothing left out. And it is a way where the animals have equal worth to us, a way of relating, a way of living, a way of seeing. Truly, not just knowing, we can know oneness in our heads. I'm
Mm.
sure many agree and know about the concepts. But it's a whole other ballgame to truly experience that in living, breathing interconnection with all life. And then to engage and act from that. How do I treat the wilderness? How do I treat you? How do I treat myself? If all beings have inherent worth, would I still then pour chemicals down the drain if I have a choice to buy something that is, you know, that that is at least not damaging to our waters?
Mm.
And would I, if I know the inherent worth of all life, that this is God incarnate, that is the Goddess incarnate, yes, it's all powerful, but it's also extremely fragile.
Mm,
That if we break one part of the whole system, like we extinguish the bee, we poison the bees can't give, you know, can't pollinate the flowers. And so the circle of life and its inherent value is not the right word, inherent worth,
mm,
inherent holiness.
mm,
Yeah, so to come into that, I love helping people to come into a felt, experienced recognition and then the embodiment of being able to live that in
mm,
your day-to-day life
mm.
with each other in the streets, wherever you are, whatever is going on.
Right.
I love this what I call revolutionary way that I'm teaching, where I feel it's freaking time for the holy to rise in a way that is human, that is relatable, that's real, where we're sweating it out together
Mm,
and live more and more in alignment with who we are on this planet.
mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yes.
How we touch, how we live.
Mm,
So, and that recognition, you cannot learn this in books.
mm,
It's what you when you sit there and your heart is closed. Well, the concept sounds nice. When there's too much stuff piled up,
mm.
then you can't bypass that ultimately with spirituality. You can. Many people do. But at some point you're gonna land flat on your ass. Because it's gonna come crashing down
Mm,
because these wounds they need to be healed. So holy means whole. We have to come into wholeness. We have to this felt sense experience that you actually your vessel of your humanity is the sacred grail of your soul incarnate here on earth. So,
beautiful. Yes. And you have a really artful way and a very practical way of helping us to connect with with this. And that's
yeah,
something I appreciate.
yeah, because it's both totally eternally mystical, you know, and there's you can't put words to it anymore. When I stood, you know, when I had my awakenings, I was like, oh, there's no words for this experience of oneness, of utter interconnectedness, of truth.
Mm,
And then how people can live that, how they can access that. I want to make it as easy as possible because I feel it's so important now. And
yes, absolutely.
we turn turn the tide, you know,
Mm,
and liberate
mm,
what's what can turn everything.
right. And what for you is the most challenging aspect of doing this magical work that is so important today?
Well, I had my own great challenges because I only can lead people. I think a good leader or a good teacher has to walk through a living hell in order to take people through their hells. Yeah. But also my challenge also in the whole scene has been because I've been doing this for 30 years, I have, and I dance between a unite psychology's high-level mystical teaching, spirituality, but also, as you said, the practical applications. And I've seen, and it's been frustrating to me, to a max, two things. One is, in the spiritual scene, I've seen so many go to the masculine way, which is the transcendence. Yeah. And they leave out the earth and our interrelatedness and their own humanity. And it's so damaging because it continues to perpetuate the notion that we just have to go beyond, but the earth, mother, is completely disregarded once again. So that's one thing. So that the masculine, in many teaching arenas where it was, it's so many times it's the men who are teaching, the men who are praised, the women follow the men. I'm like, can we just shift that paradigm, that patriarchal paradigm, and turn to an embodied lived wisdom that comes also from women? So that's part of it. So I was often the lonesome wolf, speaking out in Buddhist places, in all sorts of places. And the one thing that for me has been most challenging is the devaluing, the dismissal, not just of the feminine, but of the heart itself.
Right.
Because even today, when I look around, it's an afterthought. The heart that can feel with you, that is actually the greatest treasure here on earth. And yet we asphalt over it in a way, like our relationships to each other, to the animals. I'm a big lover of animals, wild animals. I spent a lot of time in the wilderness also, and had extremely powerful encounters with animals. And I have to say, these are they're so much closer to the living truth. And I can attest to that. And the way we treat the planet has been, has brought many tears. Now, how the animals are getting extinct, and I often say, you pour poison into the water, and then you wonder why you get sick. So stop pouring the poison. But also for those who have no voice.
Yeah.
And for me, they all have a voice. The whales, the mountain lions, they all have a voice, except we just don't hear the voice because you have to be in your heart to hear their voices. So they're more vulnerable, just like the children, just like the elderly, just like the forest. In one respect, we have abused and used nature just in every way or form. And just because my horse can't speak in our language doesn't mean my horse doesn't speak. It's the heart, what I found at the core of all of it. All beings communicate. All beings have a voice. And it's the easiest way to hear their voice is through our stillness, our presence, and our heart.
Right.
For example, when I was in the wilderness and suddenly I have a mountain lion mother in front of me. And I was walking hand in hand with my little girl. At that time, she was 12 years old. And the mountain lion mother had a cub with her. I'm a bit short-sighted, so I didn't see. And so my daughter said, Mama, that's a very big cat. I thought, yeah, it looks like it. And then when I saw it, it was kind of too late. It was too late to turn around because she would have just devoured me. I mean,
Mm,
meet a mountain lion mother with a cub, you're in for it's finish in your life.
mm,
So my capacity and the skills I developed, it was like that was a real test because my daughter is my cub. So
yes.
and I just connected with her. I mean, it was scary at first, for sure.
Mm.
But we stood a few meters across each other, and I just told her, "That my cup. This is your cup. I'm not devouring yours. You don't touch mine." And it was this beautiful communion that unfolded with her. Yeah. So, and at some point, the communion was finished, and she just walked on. And I walked on and I said, that was a cool meeting. And my daughter was like, Mom, that was great. But this seems so, for me, this is like, it's a basis, and for me, sometimes when I meet people who, yeah, it's not so easy in this world for me sometimes where I, I live in that interconnectedness nonstop. And sometimes I find our world has gotten so hard and has forgotten.
Mm.
And even now in the spiritual market frenzy, I see the simplicity of the truth entirely dismissed or blown out of proportion and made into some commodity.
Mm.
That Yeah. So it's been challenging to be a torchbearer for a revolutionary way. And I
Yeah.
do wish that would get more exposure because I feel that holistic way is crucial now.
Right. Right. Thank you so much. And what inspires you? What helps you to keep going, to be nourished as you're working with these challenges?
Well, I think for me it's just a deep love. A
Mm,
deep, deep love inside me that I know I'm born for this time, that I
mm,
know that I there's many beings that are being helped by this, but also I feel for me to just ride my horse, simple things like that. And what inspires me also is to see heroines and heroes in this world that nobody talks about, but they leave a trail of, like the guy I met who just keeps planting trees in Africa, who, he just keeps doing it, even though all sorts of challenges happen. He still goes with his watering can and waters the trees, and then it becomes a forest. He's grown a forest, guy. I feel inspired by women who stand up and
mm,
create change. I feel inspired by everybody who dares to love in the face of greatest adversity.
mm,
I I feel also with my students, and like with you, I feel inspired when they practice and we do the work, and then I see you flourishing, yeah,
mm,
and carrying it, making making a wave in this world to bring that flame forward.
mm,
So for me, all this is inspiring and also nourishing. And often I sit in stillness, that right at the source. So there are many ways that I find my refuge, and that fills me.
Mm.
And simple, like sometimes I just like to go out and dance and let loose.
Mm. Yes, which has often happened to me in phone calls with you. The moment
Yes,
has quite often
yes,
ended with, very liberating
yes, yes.
experience like that.
And for me, it's also nature, like many who are listening.
Mm.
It's like go jump into the sea, swim in a lake, it's sacred power places. I take people to it, but I also spend my time there. So yeah.
And as we begin to draw to a close, would you like to tell us about what uh, are the upcoming projects that you are working on and things that you are proposing that people may wish to join you on? I know there's one thing I'll be doing in September with you.
You can say it.
A flame keeper training, which is very dear to my heart. And I know that you propose still the way of love this summer. There will be one, and the Magdalene training in earlier September. Um,
And there's more. There's more.
yes.
Yes, because I'm right now on the cooking pot because I've taught for so long, but now I feel like I want to amp up the work to reach so many more people with this revolutionary way. So it's not just, there are going to be some more programs also coming up. And yeah, and I feel I want to get this work to the bigger stage now. Like, I speak in a lot of places already, but I feel it's like that movement to bring this work to the main stage of the world and to have train as many as possible to then go forth and teach that or lead from that or heal from that so that the many yeah I feel I have been I've paved the way for many people.
Mm.
And now I feel I need to take that torch and seat on my horse and just lead the way on the front lines with people who truly want to make a big wave from their hearts into this world for the what we call the great turning, as Joanna Macy said,
Yes.
um, literally for the sake of all beings.
Mm.
And ultimately, I would love that my work at some point can fund also to create a wilderness sanctuary. And it's already funding a safe house in the Congo in the pit of hell. But I feel something something needs to happen to bring it more visibly, to to make a big, like, how Moses parted the waves. It's like all the noise, to bring it to the many.
Beautiful. Yes. And I think you've been having some nudges from Magdalena in that direction.
From many holy beings. I walk with a lot of them, and no, it's just a connection, just like with the animals, or
Yeah.
um, but also with the people, and I can feel there is. It's just my mission.
Mm.
No, and that this teaching or these practices, or they're not just for the elite or for the it can, because I can feel this power of love, the truth of the life, living truth, the
Mm,
the life power that comes, from deep within through the heart. This is what is the greatest power here on earth. And it can change massively everything. And I would say it can even shift things in a second.
right. Yes. It's beautiful that you're opening the way for us to access these very potent things through extremely rich and down to earth practices that you propose through the Red Pulse community that you propose as well. You provide nourishment on a very regular basis for those who are wishing to follow this kind of path of the way.
Yeah, and also I want to kick people's butts to say, get on board. No?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's time to come into empowerment of like living it in the streets, in your relationships, everywhere, so that we make a big wave. So, and not just receiving, but really applying and then engaging with it, so that the holy literally is embodied through you, through that one, through that, and lived in a way that where all life truly celebrates and benefits.
Mm. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Nicola. I have really, really enjoyed spending this time with you and bathing in this your great love. Your heart is so tangible, through your words. Your great love and your great respect for the sacredness of every being is something that resonates all the time in all your words and all your actions as you kick our butts very effectively. Yeah. So I'm very, very grateful to have had this time together. We will put some links under the video for those of you who would love to explore further in the many avenues that Nicola proposed.
Yeah, I want to say, for everyone, truly value the heart, your heart,
Mm,
because it's the doorway where heaven and earth meet,
yeah.
and where you just know how to walk on this planet here.
Yes.
That will bring not poison, but will make the flowers grow again
Mm,
inside you and around you. Just treasure your heart and the heart of all beings.
that is so precious and so important. And
Mhm.
yes, sometimes we pay lip service to this, but
A lot. It's happening a lot. But
mm,
it doesn't come overnight. It's a way of walking, a way of living and breathing that, breathing deeper into it, living it more fully. It's because our system is so wired, so the opposite, that the heart says, hey, let me breathe, let me live, and let me let me touch through these hands and through these feet
mm,
to bring that life-giving, truth that can't be destroyed. It just won't. Even if the heart is so tender, it is also extremely powerful.
mm. I think that is a beautiful note to end on. I don't want to add any more words after that. Mm. Thank you for your lovely message, Nicola.
You're welcome. It was an honor.
Mm. And thank you and the Guardians of Gaia community for watching, for being with us. And I hope you enjoyed this time with Nicola, and you will have the opportunity to read her book, visit her website, see the things that she offers that are all echoes of this message of value the heart, let it vibrate, let it resonate, and follow your heart, your true heart. Yeah. Thank you so much, Nicola. So,
It's so welcome. It's a pleasure. Keep loving no matter what in the storms too.
yes, we're going to see plenty of those, but with nourishment like this, we will go through them. Thank you. Goodbye, Nicola.